Fox News gets it. They understand that the moderate Democrats are Democrats in name only, and they're real Republican allies. What happened to our dinos? What happened to our dino allies? All right, let's see what the chuds are saying about the $3.5 trillion bill.
By the way, had a piece in Fox called the Bernie, in which you mentioned the Bernie budget. Of course, Bernie Sanders is a socialist. Is what you're saying that the House just voted essentially to approve of a socialist budget? This would be the first socialist budget that the United States ever approved of.
Yeah, they did. And it's quite a sham on how they did the process. We were supposed to mark up the budget back in mid-July.
What?
The first socialist budget, chat. The first socialist budget.
The Democrats couldn't get the votes. Then we were supposed to pass the budget on the floor
Extra
before
line,
the
that's
August
right.
recess. They couldn't get the votes. We were supposed to pass the budget last night. They couldn't get the votes. So they went to just about an hour ago, and they didn't even debate the budget on the floor. They put it on a rule as a deeming resolution to just deem passage of the Bernie budget. Of course, the Bernie budget couldn't pass on its own, so they had to hook it with the infrastructure rule and a voting rights rule. It's quite a sham because they don't want the American people to know that they just passed Bernie's budget that has record spending, $68 trillion. And if you just think about this, David, the amount of money that has been spent since the Democrats took control of Congress, combined with Bernie's budget now, that's $85 trillion.
Thank you as well.
That's more than all of the taxes that's been collected in the history of our country.
Well, 68 trillion is about 20 times more than 3.2 trillion, which is the figure that you hear from Democrats now. How do they go from 3.2 trillion to 68 trillion, which is what Bernie wants to spend?
Democrats can't seem to do math very well. Yesterday, when we were in the Rules Committee, when I said this budget would create $17 trillion in new debt, the chairman of the committee tried to argue. And I'm like, the numbers, here they are. Just add them up. But see, Democrats think...
They're just making up random shit, chat. They just make up random shit. It's so ridiculous. Someone stop the... God, Fox News is 100% just random propaganda. And the conservative movement, their definition of like what is reality is completely unmoored from anything close to actual material conditions. One of the things that frustrates me so much is like it's so comical. Like you watch this and it's a comedy, but then you realize that millions of people take this as gospel.
That they can just create money. And they also believe that deficits don't matter. But let me tell you, the people who I represent
President Trump
in rural America,
an end to endless
they
war.
know that this reckless spending is affecting their lives.
We will no. President Trump puts an end to endless war. We will no longer go abroad in search of monsters to destroy. Brian T. Kennedy. Biden embraces defeat. The administration leaves Afghanistan and abandons America. Brian T. Kennedy. They're conservative. They're liars. That's all you need to know.
Lives because now, because of rising inflation.
By the way, the Bernie Sanders bill is fully funded, chat, by economic growth, taxes on the rich, and administrative savings from things like Medicare is going to be able to negotiate prescription drug prices for the first time in history, and that's going to save hundreds of billions of dollars. So every patient is going to get the same medicine. It's just going to cost the government a lot less money. They pay for it.
It's costing them more to put food on their table, clothes on their backs, and gasoline in their car. In my state alone, gasoline prices are up 80% since this administration started.
Okay, when the administration started January 20th, it was the absolute height of COVID lockdowns. We didn't have a vaccine that was widely available. We were locking down because we had the worst week of the entire pandemic was the point when Trump left office. No wonder gas prices were lower. Everybody was huddling in their home. under lockdown. This guy's such a lying he's such a lying worm. Just a worm.
By the way, again, just I don't want to focus exclusively on numbers because there are other things, but 68 trillion is about half of all the private property owned by Americans. That is to say, the Bernie budget would essentially take away about half of all the private property.
Okay, this is just nonsense. This is just babble. That's the current valuation of property, and then you compare like 20 years of government spending, which means 20 years of tax revenues, idiot. They just make shit up!
In America, you know, you talk about socialist Bernie. This is Soviet Bernie.
But think about this.
Wait, what was that? I didn't catch it. It was what?
Budget would essentially take away about half of all the private property in America. You know, you talk about socialist Bernie. This is Soviet Bernie.
But think about the 68 trillion in spending. It also has record amount of taxes. Increasing taxes on job creators, that it will be
AMR. We're celebrating the budget.
Higher than that of communist China. What does that do to manufacturers and small businesses in the United States? Basically incentivizes them to fire their employees, close their shop, and move to China. It's such a disgrace. It's reckless. And you know what? Bernie Sanders lost the election, but apparently his policies won because Nancy Pelosi and the liberal squad are pushing Bernie Sanders' policies, and that's what just passed out of the House of Representatives.
But what happened to the moderate Democrats? Because not everybody in the House who is a Democrat has a socialist by their name. I mean, you talk about the squad, you talk about Bernie. They seem to be pretty proud of it. But
hey, Fox News gets it, chat. Fox News gets it. They understand that the moderate Democrats are Democrats in name only, and they're real Republican allies. What happened to our dinos? What happened to our dino allies?
How did the others collapse? What did Nancy Pelosi do to make the others collapse?
The so-called moderates folded like a cheap tent today. It's sad for America. They turned their back on their constituents, and they sold out to Speaker Pelosi. And I guess they believe that Pelosi's palace rules. But let me tell you, the House of Representatives is the people's house, and it's unfortunate that they turned their back on the American public and the people that they represented, because they got nothing.
I love it, dude.
Nothing out of this process when they said they would not support a budget resolution as late as Sunday evening in a letter signed by 9 moderate Democrats unless there was first a vote on infrastructure. There's not even going to be a vote on infrastructure this month. Take it out there. Jared?
All right, so what was it, chat? Let's go back to, I think, you look at these districts these moderates are from. Look at this shit. D plus 17, D plus 9, D plus 9, D plus 7, D plus 10. What does that mean? That means a generic Democrat would win their district by that expectation. Just if you put Donald Duck as the Democratic nominee, they are expected to win by 10 points. These are the people blocking the bill? Excuse me? You just called them moderates after that segment. Well, I'm just saying. We're doing it. They're not. They're conservatives. They're the blue dog Dems. And this is something that I posted in 2019, chat. This is Mike's greatest hits. I went through and looked up every single member of the Blue Dog Caucus. A lot of these people ended up losing in 2020. Ben McAdams, Kendra Horn, Jeff Van Drew flipped from Democrat to Republican, literally switched. Got elected as a Democrat that switched to a Republican with Trump. But you could see, like, look at that. Ed Case, D plus 17. Joe Cunningham. Okay, I think he lost as well. He's out. Henry Cuellar, D plus 9. So this, listen, I got 100 likes for my tweet because I wasn't as important back then. But this is the type of information you get on the Central Committee stream. Way ahead of the curve.
We do politics here every morning starting at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. You can watch us here on Twitch. We're the morning guy, the morning politics guy, Politics Frogs, in every single day, same time, 10 a.m., day in, day out. And we carry you through your morning and early afternoon politics needs. And if you need more, Mike from PA, we have a YouTube channel. We talked about suburbs, the My Pillow guy, Ted Cruz. We talked about DSA. Amazing. Making fun of Tim Pool. Amazing. Look at all of these amazing videos. Get in there, watch them. We have me on Twitter. You got to follow me on Twitter, chat. I'm at 20,614 subs. That means I got like 40 followers on Twitter in the last day. You can do better than that. You can do better than that. Go follow us on Twitter. And of course, join the Discord, where we have an incredible community of left-wing streamers. We have left-wing community. We talk about the stream. We talk about politics. There's gaming content. It's a really awesome, supportive place. Direct action, mutual aid. And you can just let off some steam. And also, you can help produce the show. One of the things I do is I look at the links that are put into the news content suggestions chat room on the Discord. Join the Discord, come hang out, and maybe what you want me to talk about will be part of the next show.